Low motivation days happen, and today was definitely one of those for me. I didn't really accomplish much of anything, except that I did, redecorate my house a little bit for the summer. I swapped out my spring decor for my more patriotic summer look, and I will admit that it's a little, I don't know, bittersweet, I guess, to put out my patriotic decor when things are going the way they are, but I'm going to continue to enjoy it because I still have that streak. Doesn't necessarily mean I agree with everything that's happening in the world right now, but if you have been following my videos, then you will already know that. Actually, if you've been following my videos, you're probably of the same mindset that I am, or at least somewhere close. But whatever else is going on in the world, I like to do my patriotic decor from Memorial Day to Labor Day. So I can show you that I have swapped out my fireplace mantle decor for my summer red, white, and blue. And also, this is my part of my front porch, my little welcome area, which I really like. Of course, I have a Coca-Cola sign because I have that all over the house. And the other thing I did was I updated one of the walls in my guest room because I already had the jacket hung on the wall that you would see here, but I haven't had my fan hung up for quite some time. And this is a fan that I got when we were living in Japan. So it is a little funny that I'm putting patriotic decor all over the house with a little Japanese touch. And I do have quite the collection of Asian dolls and art pieces, partially because we lived in Japan for 3 years, and partially because a lot of people gifted me things that were Asian. Some of them are vintage or antique, and they're pretty cool. So I may show off that collection someday as well. I actually have a series of videos I should do just about the items that I've collected over the years because I've got some fun stuff. I might have to even do a multi-part episode on my Coca-Cola collection because I have so much. So that's something that may be coming soon. But like I said, today was a very low motivation day. I did a little puttering around the house. I dusted off the ceiling fans because it's not warm enough to install our air conditioning yet, but it gets a little bit stuffy in the house at night. So having the ceiling fans going helps to keep the air moving and cool us off. But it's been a good day. It's been a relaxing day. I get a little frustrated with myself when I don't accomplish much, and I know I need to go easier on myself. So I just thought I'd come on and let you know that it's okay to have these kind of days. We don't have to be productive 24/7 no matter what society tries to tell us. It is okay to take a little time, take a step back and do something fun. And I do enjoy redecorating my house on occasion. I haven't really moved the furniture around a lot since we've gotten pretty settled. But actually, I think the next few days will be the 13th anniversary of us moving into this house. So we've been in here much more than a decade now, and I'm pretty comfortable with how things have turned out. I like my sunny room here that it took me years to get it this way because we had the roof leak and I had to fix the walls. I actually reinstalled this entire wall, so I'm rather proud of myself for that. And it's a little lumpy and bumpy, but it doesn't look terrible. And since we've gotten the roof fixed, we haven't had any other leaks, so that's nice. I have accomplished things in the house. I'm slowly but surely. And this year is going to be my outside year for getting the yard work done, which I've mentioned, but I just have to remind myself that it's okay to take that step back and kind of, maybe recoup my strength because we're going into some more busy times. JT has a an author talk at a library on Tuesday. And let's see, next weekend. No, not next weekend. In a couple of weeks, it's going to be our anniversary. Actually, by the end of this week, I should have my manuscript back for Battleborn Bride, and I'll need to get to work on that again. But haven't really done much on the writing front, and that's kind of what's frustrating me because I was determined to keep up my writing momentum. But with the two manuscripts in the stages that they're in, I don't feel comfortable working on anything else just yet. I did manage to proofread Restless Spirits 2, and I did contact my cover artist, or the person I hope will be my cover artist. I haven't heard back yet on either of those things. So I will be getting into the setup process for Restless Spirits Book 2 here really soon. So it's not like I'm not doing anything. It just feels a little weird after all the hard work I've done for the last few months. So I really wasn't even motivated to do this video today, as you might be able to tell, because really not much of anything to talk about. But hopefully you enjoyed the few peeks at my house and the updated decor. And I would be interested to know if you do seasonal decor for your house. I pretty much decorate for every season, go really wild for Halloween and Christmas, but I like to switch things up kind of to keep me, I don't know, present in the season that I'm living in. So I always associate red, white, and blue with summer because even though I'm not a 4th of July kid, my oldest was a 4th of July baby, my firecracker baby, who grew up to be a social studies teacher. But I'm pretty close. Her birthday is about 10 days after mine, I believe. And I've always felt I've had a really strong patriotic streak in me, I guess. And of course, my husband is ex military, so I was a dependent spouse. And this is Memorial Day weekend. We do not celebrate veterans this weekend. This is the weekend we celebrate people who gave their lives in service of our country. And it is a rough time for a lot of people. I actually have been thinking about my cousin, who he was the first person I remember losing. He died in Vietnam in, oh, I think it was 1969, maybe. I don't remember specifically which year. I actually went to his graduation from basic training at Camp Pendleton, and then he was shipped off to Vietnam. I would have been about 5 years old, and he unfortunately didn't make a month over there. And that is the first funeral I remember going to. I think that's the first funeral I actually ever went to, and that's one of my earliest memories. So I think of him every year at this time. I have another cousin that went over there as well. He came back, uh, and like many Vietnam veterans, he had a lot of post-traumatic issues, and he's passed away now. He passed away a few years ago. So I'm thinking of him as well. They were not siblings, but we were all cousins. And it's a little odd to think of the fact that my cousins were lost in Vietnam, or the one who came back survived many, many years. He died within the last decade, but I don't think he was ever quite right when he came back from Vietnam. So I don't know if you would consider him a Vietnam casualty, but I kind of think in a way he was. And so I'm thinking of not only them, but everybody else who has given their lives for our country. And that's why I have such mixed feelings about celebrating these patriotic holidays, because our country has been through some rough times. And, we have been on the side of both good and bad. I'm feeling a little bit like we're not on the best side at this moment in time, but I feel specifically for the people who really often joined the military because they were trying to make a better life for themselves. And of course, because they wanted to fight for their country. But it's hard for everyone who was left behind. And if you are someone who has lost a relative, loved one, a friend, someone, even someone that you just barely knew, but who may have touched your life in some way, I'm sure you are feeling their presence this weekend. You're thinking of them this weekend. And as we're enjoying a long holiday weekend, I hope many people are thinking of the reason that we celebrate this weekend. So, again, I've gone off on a tangent that I didn't mean to, but that's just the way my mind works because obviously I was thinking about my cousins, and it's interesting how things stick with you, especially at a young age. You know, Vietnam was all over the television as I was in. I hadn't even really started elementary school yet, but we would have the TV on at dinner time. So I have strong memories of watching those images on the television while we were having dinner, and it was very much in the house and in my family. So I'm sure many people in my age group feel the same way and have the same thoughts and memories. So again, if you are someone who is mourning a lost loved one this weekend, for any reason, because it doesn't necessarily have to be a veteran or somebody who served in the military, but sometimes these kind of commemorations can bring out thoughts of other lost loved ones. I came across a photo of my mother today, so I'm thinking of her as well. And so my condolences go out to you, my sympathies go out to you, and just take care of yourself because it can be a rough time for people, even though it is a celebratory time. And our neighbors actually have a bounce house and they have a big party going on in the yard next door. So there are still good things happening in the world. People are having fun. The kids are over there laughing and screaming and going down the slide in the bounce house. So have to remember that we have good times and we have bad times, but we just need to work our way through them, just like we need to work through these low motivation days because, gosh darn it, I've got to remember to go easier on myself when I have these days because it's really not the worst thing in the world. There are much bigger problems that we need to worry about than whether or not I wrote 1,000 words today. Anyway, now that I'm just rambling, I'm going to wrap up this video. I hope you've had a wonderful Saturday, and hopefully I'll be back tomorrow with something a little bit more interesting. I'm Cassidy Carson, and this is The Life of a Writer. Take care.